If you are a Gen Xer, you grew up with Colorforms, and you know there was a Colorform set for just about every children or family entertainment property you could think of, with one glaring exception: no Star Wars. How could this be? We got Star Trek, Space 1999, Battlestar Galactica, Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, Flash Gordon, The Black Hole, even Star Snoopy. Why not the biggest sci-fi film, let alone the biggest blockbuster of all time? I mean, what gives? I'm Scott Serkland, and on this channel, we specialize in filling the gaps between the stuff our generation remembers fondly and the stuff we never got. Now, we've already created one of the coolest Colorform sets that never existed. With that project, we learned a lot, so why not take that knowledge to create the Star Wars Colorform set that we never got? To the art lab. Let's suit up. Here we are in the art lab where we turn our nostalgic wish fulfillment into reality. You know, I had so much fun creating this Mecha versus Kaiju Colorform set, but am I satisfied? No, because I still want that Star Wars Colorform set that I dreamed about when I was a kid. Fortunately, now we have the know-how to make that happen. We're gonna put those skills to the test, but first, we have one unanswered question. Why no Star Wars Colorforms? So why no Star Wars Colorforms? Well, at the time, Kenner had the master toy license for Star Wars, and they were super protective over that license. Where toy companies like Mattel and Hasbro would allow other companies to license properties like Barbie, He-Man, and G.I. Joe, as long as the product didn't compete with what they were doing, Kenner was a no-go. That means no Star Wars, no Strawberry Shortcake, no Melky the Marvelous Milking Cow. Okay, I don't think anyone was clamoring for that one, but you get the idea. In addition to the classic Colorforms that we know and love, the brand also created a line of rub-on transfers called Rub and Play, which were like Colorforms, but you would rub the images onto a background with a pencil, only the process was permanent. And though there were no Rub and Play Star Wars sets either, there were similar products called Action Transfers and Presto Magics that did feature Star Wars. These were manufactured by Letraset and Papermate respectively. And since these were stationery companies and not toy companies, they fell outside the scope of Kenner's master toy license. Since the Colorform brand couldn't use Colorforms or Rub and Play using Kenner products, they got creative and conjured up Space Warriors, aka Outer Spaceman, and Sugar and Spice to fill the void of Star Wars and Strawberry Shortcake. They even made Outer Spacemen action figures and successfully licensed Sugar and Spice to other companies who couldn't get in on the Strawberry Shortcake craze. But since we're just experimenting and not planning on marketing these, we can bring to life the Star Wars Colorform set that we always dreamed of. As I designed the Star Wars Colorforms, I purposely kept them off model, as most of the early Colorforms didn't always present the most accurate representation. I looked at early Marvel comics for inspiration. Star Wars artists usually beefed up the heroes and villains, and used a lot of creative license. I always wondered who this long-haired dude with the orange lightsaber in the corner box was. I'll go ahead and print everything out and assemble it just as we did for the Mecha and Kaiju Colorform set. So, what Colorform set would you have liked to have seen growing up? Leave a comment. Select tiers of my Patreon will get digital files for all the artwork that I'm creating here, plus the files for all of my past projects. Join us today on Patreon. If you're a member of my newsletter, you already received the template to help create the boxes we're making here. When you sign up to my newsletter, you also get the free Comic Maker Starter Kit, packed with a ton of assets you can use in your own creative projects. For the backgrounds, I want to pick scenes from the original movie where a lot of action took place, like Tatooine, the Mos Eisley Cantina, and the Death Star. I created a large window in the Death Star scene. That way we could have character action in the foreground and spaceships dogfighting outside the space station window. Now let's put it all together. Wow, this is so great. I only wish I had this when I was a kid. Here, have a closer look. Looks pretty awesome, but looks aren't everything. Let's see it in action. That's no moon, that's a space station. When I left you, I was but a learner, now I am the master. Only a master of evil doth. Red 5 standing by. Well, if there's a bright center of the universe, you're on the planet that's furthest from. Oh, teeny! Oh, two! He doesn't like you. I don't like you either. You better watch yourself. I have the death sentence on 12 systems. I'll be careful. You'll be dead. No blasters! Or clunky. Yes, Greedo. I bet you have. Yeah, I'm definitely shot first. Well, that's going to do it for another retro reventification, proving once again that if they never made something you wish for, just make it yourself. If you want to see what we'll come up with next, use the force to push those like and subscribe buttons. And if you want to see another awesome project take shape, click this video right up here.
Presto Magic's Return of the Jedi makes the action come alive.
With Presto Magic's Return of the Jedi Super Transfer Set, you get a big action board and over 150 Star Wars transfers to make the action come alive.
Presto Magic's with all of your favorites makes the action come alive.
I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.